Okay, welcome to episode 1 of our new show, which is We Collect Shit. This is new ground for us.
Yeah.
So, we're going to rely on you guys to give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Do you like what we're talking about? Do you want to see more content like this? So far, we've been doing a lot of video game reviews, movie reviews, that kind of thing. But obviously, you can tell based on the shit behind us and the games that we do review, we're big-time collectors. And we're very passionate about it, and we have a lot of opinions on it. This show is going to be more us talking about, A, the art of collecting, what's going on in the collecting world amongst video game collectors, and prominent issues that we just feel is interesting. So we're definitely relying on some feedback, and we want to know if you like this kind of stuff. We're going to do more videos like this.
We're going to try a number of different things. We're going to
aim for at the beginning what we think would be interesting, what we would want to see for online videos, like the videos that I myself look at.
We'll talk about stuff we're interested in, or stuff that may be interesting to you guys. So
episode 1, topic that we right now we're just discussing, soon to be rare games. What classifies as a soon-to-be rare game? A, games that are already uncommon or rare that are going to be really rare. So like a game that's already, you don't really find it, it's already like a $30 game that's going to jump in value. So games that we think are going to.
Yeah.
Or games that are cheap and easy to find that are going to become super hard to find. So these are our predictions. These are our personal predictions.
This is something that I think everyone likes to sort of speculate
Everybody,
on. It's something that's really difficult to predict. I mean, in a lot of ways. There's a lot of games that you pass up from time to time. You're like, oh, it's like $10, and then suddenly you check eBay listings later, and suddenly it's a $50 game or whatever.
Well, because they're in the collecting community. When people look at like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, those cards, often you hear like, oh, if I had only known at the time, I would have bought like 5 copies of Earthbound. So people are always trying to do that shit. Now that PS3, 360, and Wii is nearing the end of its life cycle, now the rare games are still available. You can get them reasonably priced, and people are trying to figure out what is going to go rare.
What's the next big game?
Often good rules of thumb when trying to predict what's going to go rare.
Oh yeah, okay.
Late cycle games.
Low print run releases.
Low print run. Limited editions.
Limited editions for
Odd collector's editions of things.
Canceled games for sure.
Canceled games that somehow found their way on the shelf or later got recalled.
Games that were maybe released for a week and then recalled, or that
got discontinued. They cut they cut the print run short.
One thing we talked about today, games released with DLC on disc that is no longer available. Like
games that had DLC that they later recalled, and the only way to play the DLC is on the disc version.
Which just happened with...
which is happening with a lot of games.
Yeah.
Genre definitely dictates it. For the most part, you want to aim for games nearing the end of the life cycle. Survival horror.
Oh yeah, survival horror is awesome.
Fighting games.
Yeah.
And the biggest, RPGs. RPGs always hold their value and go up.
And you never know, certain action titles and stuff.
And then I would just say, as another like under genre category, oddball games.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well,
then it's a gamble.
Yeah. The other thing is just really popular games. Like we're looking at like Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
Being hard to find.
Yeah.
Even
certain ones that don't get re-released.
Everyone wants to play because they're amazing games, right? I tried to avoid games that are like popular games that value is going to go up. I tried to go for more like rare games that like are just going to become rare, valuable games, but not popular rare games. Anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, sounds good.
I got number 1 on my list, Deadly Premonition.
Oh, awesome.
Deadly Premonition. I got both the 360 and the PS3 version. So just to give some backstory on Deadly Premonition, it was originally a 360 game. It was a survival horror game, so we got survival horror genre.
Yeah.
It's an open world survival horror game that's non-linear story, which is kind of an odd survival horror game. It doesn't force you to... It's like an open worldy sandboxy game.
Takes place in a small town.
It's pseudo-based off Twin Peaks.
Which is fucking awesome, because I love Twin Peaks.
And then it gained a huge cult following because the reviews for it were so fucking all over the board bipolar. It was getting 2 out of 10s while getting 9 out of 10s at the same time.
Like simultaneously, people were like, "I love this game," and other people We're just saying like, it's the worst game ever made. So,
and this is where it gets weird. It was originally a 360 game, came out in 2010, had a huge cult following, and then now in 2013 got re-released as a director's cut for the PS3. Yeah. I actually have a copy, and so do you. We both have copies. Yeah. We recently picked this up. Current price listing on the 360 game is $15 to $20. Current price value on the PS3 director's cut, $30 to $35.
That's
So both of them are still they already are decently valuable. I think we're gonna see the 360 one, which I can't find anywhere. I think we're gonna see the 360 one jump. I think it's gonna be a $30 to $50 game. I think it's going to be
30 to 50.
I think 30 to 50 is my call on that. I think it's going to be a haunting ground.
I've never run into it until we had to hunt it down, basically.
The director's cut. We haven't even found the 360.
No,
I personally have not found a copy of the 360 version. I think the director's cut is going to be even fucking rarer because it had a short print run. It's a PS3 exclusive now. The director's cut's not on the 360.
Oh, okay. The director's cut
is exclusive to 360
separate and
exclusive to PS3.
Okay,
and it's a late cycle game. Survival horror genre, which always holds its value. It already is hard to find.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a copy of Deadly Premonition on 360 used or in a store, in a game shop. I'm yet to find a 360 copy, and this version right here, the PS3 Director's Cut, in months, we're going to be saying the same thing. Where is this copy? Where do you find it? I don't think you're going to find it.
Well, I'm seeing it being sold online here for about $20.
Yeah, right now you can get the 360 version. Right now you can find the 360 version for about $20. Buy it. Buy this game. It's gonna spike. And also, you can find the Deadly Premonition. You can still find the director's cut for $30 new. Buy this fucking game.
Yeah.
Okay, we're collecting from Canada, so for us, it's not GameStop. It's EB Games.
Yeah.
I was told this came out into EB Games stores, was on the shelf for a couple months. It's already been discontinued in the system.
Ooh,
meaning they can't order it for you from their warehouse.
Yeah.
This got instantly discontinued. So the print run has already been cut short. So good luck finding this, even if you were to look this one up. It's still
grab all you can.
Yeah, grab all you can. I would rate current rarity rating on Deadly Premonition, both the 360 and the PS3, 6 out of 10. I'd say 6 out of 10. You cannot find it in stores. It's very hard to find in stores, and it's nearly impossible to find used. But it's very easy to find online. There's a million listings on eBay,
I'm looking right
and there's a ton of listings on Amazon. Now you definitely can. Next one I got written down here. I'm curious what you think on this one.
Okay.
I'm predicting South Park: The Stick of Truth.
I don't know. I think this is one we're gonna have to wait and see.
This is my data.
Okay.
South Park Stick of Truth. It's on 360. Let's go through the facts. It's on 360, PS3. Released in 2014.
Yeah.
Super late into the life cycle of the PS3 and the 360. So it's an RPG based on the South Park TV show. Got fantastic reviews across the board. And it has the title of being a successful licensed game.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a successful, high-quality reviewed licensed game. If this doesn't get a re-release, on PS3 or sorry, PS4 or Xbox One, Xbone, it's just gonna hold its value and keep going up. Currently, both the 360 and the PS3 game are about $30 to $40. And it's still a very new game. I mean, it just came out this fucking year. I think personally, I think that the 360 version is going to be a little cheaper than the PS3. I think they're going to hold their value and go up about $10 to $20. I'm thinking the 360 is going to be about a $40 to $50 game. I think the PS3 version, because PS3 is always going to be more sought after for RPGs. And I think that one I think it's going to be $50 plus.
Yeah, I could see it maybe hanging as a 40. I don't know.
Yeah. Which version?
Both versions. I mean, I don't know if it'll make too much of a difference. You'd have to look at numbers.
It's based off a popular franchise, South Park, so there's always going to be attention about it.
Yeah.
Now, this is just my thought. It might have been ignored originally, so right now, because it just came out, I think a lot of people ignored it. Simply because it's a licensed game. So they might have thought, it's a South Park game, how good could it be? It's a licensed game, it's going to be shit. I bet you years later, people, when they're looking back, they're going to read reviews and be like, holy shit, why did I ignore this? Where is this game? Let me find copies. And because it was a late system release, there wasn't a ton of copies released, so I think it's going to skyrocket.
We've had South Park games before, too. I remember when I was younger, there was N64 South Park games. There was PS1, I think, South Park games.
Interesting you bring that up.
Yeah.
Because that was my next point, is the other South Park games have kept decent value for the most part. The N64 carts are all worth about 10 to 15. They're more than just bargain bin $5 N64 games. Also, the Dreamcast games. Yes, there were Dreamcast South Park games.
Oh my god.
Chef's Love Shack. It might have changed, but when I was like, I think I had a copy at one point. I think I sold it for like $10. The Rally one, I think, was like a $20 Dreamcast game too, like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is, if those shitty games held decent value, an amazing South Park game should just skyrocket in value. Side note, just as a side note here, certain games on my list have special editions and collector's editions, and you gotta look for this. When a game like South Park Stick of Truth that I think's already gonna be rare, if there's a collector's edition of that, if the main game becomes rare, the collector's edition becomes a fortune. It becomes unfindable. It's just like, then we're talking huge auctions. There is a special edition for the Stick of Truth called the Grand Wizard Edition. And I think this release, if Stick of Truth goes rare, it's going to be worth a fortune. Current rarity level, what would you rate this? I'm going to say about 5 out of 10. I find Stick of Truth, there's 1 million copies at EB Games.
Anything that's still in stores, I wouldn't even worry about being rare.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 5 out of 10. It's about 50%. It's not rare right now, it's common.
I would almost say 2 out of 10 then, being if you can buy it in any store. Nothing is really rare until you can't find it in stores.
Yeah, it becomes uncommon.
In that sense, if you can find it super easily online from like Amazon will ship it to you like brand new, or if you can find it at EB Games or GameStop or something, like, and you can just pick it up off the shelf.
For me, I'm saying for my rarity level, I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. I don't. Okay. That's middle because it's not very common to find a copy at used shops. It's extremely easy to find online, and it's extremely easy to find in stores right now. So I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. Okay, here's a curveball. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Right. This is like out of left field. I'm just total prediction on this. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I have a gut feeling on this one.
Gut feeling.
Gut feeling. Going with my gut on this one. Xbox 360 shmups.
Oh, Xbox 360 like exclusives.
Yes. Now listen to this. So the Xbox 360, if you didn't know this, and I just recently learned this, has a bunch of exclusive shmups only on the 360.
I'm checking this out.
Listen to this. We've got Akai Katana, released in 2010. Death Smiles, released in 2007. Raiden Fighter Aces, released in 2008. Raiden 4, 2009. And Automedius Excellent in 2011. So right off the bat, we got 5 system exclusive shmups for the 360. The studios involved include such names as Konami, because Konami made Automedius. This thing guys, it's a Gradius. It's basically 3D Gradius.
Well, I'm looking at this right now. Death Smiles is the one you mentioned?
Death Smiles is one of them.
I'm just looking at this. It's a 360 shoot 'em up. It's a Cave shooter.
Cave made it.
Cave is actually really big.
Cave is the developer, and Cave's big. They're not just throwaway studios.
That's a cult game company that a lot of people like to collect their crazy shoot 'em up games.
Absolutely.
So I didn't know that there were Cave shooters on 360.
They've all been given decently positive reviews. All of them have got about, I would say 7 out of 10s. Yeah, like about 70%. All of them. Wow. So, because I mean, how do you fuck up a shmup, right? It's pretty hard to make a bad shmup. Currently, you can pick all of these games up for $10 and less. They're all cheap as shit. Of them, I think the only one that has any value is Raiden 4 is like a $20 game. So Raiden 4, I'm just going to call it out. I don't give a shit. I think every one of these games is going to be a $25 to $30+ game.
You think so?
Every one of them. I'm calling it now. Shmup genre does actually have a history of values going crazy on them.
I think you're referring to stuff like Radiant Silver.
Radiant Silver, Ikaruga, Robo-Alest, Android Assault. Goes on and on. There's tons.
There's always
Magical Chase. The shmup genre, for some reason, always becomes collectibles, and they go for ridiculous value. So there's that point. All of them are exclusive to 360 right now.
That's so weird. That's so strange that they would be on 360.
The 360 is mainly known for FPSs. So anyone collecting 360s who is like, I'm going to collect 360, I want to know what's out there. Oh wow, there's a bunch of shmups exclusive to the 360. That's fucking weird in itself. And I think a lot of people years from now are gonna go back and be like, "What? Look, these are all good shmups, but they're on the 360. I'm gonna go after these."
Yeah.
Sometimes just having an oddball genre on a console not known for said genre can make it rare and collectible. Another point I wanted to make: the Raiden series, Raiden 3, is exclusively a PS2 game. That game is decently valuable. Raiden 4 is exclusive to 360.
That's weird.
Why? I don't know. There is a downloadable version of Raiden 4. It's called like Raiden 4 Overkill or something for PS3, so there is a download of it. But if you want a disc physical copy, which collectors all want, you gotta buy the 360 version.
Ooh, and it's like looks like a $20 game just to pick it up too. They're not all going to be amazing. Like, I know everyone loves Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun. They're considered,
which I've heard are amazing games.
They're considered to be the pinnacle of like shmups. So in that sense, they're highly sought after. Not everyone's going to want to collect every obscure, weird, and potentially shitty shmup.
I do think from that list though, one or two of those titles is going to go super rare.
Yeah, probably.
I think from that list, there's a good. So I'm playing the odds as well.
Yeah.
When we talk about collector's editions, there's a special edition of both Death Smiles and Optomedius. I don't know about the other ones. So if either of those games goes rare, you know the collector's edition's gonna be worth a fortune.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they would have had a really low print run then. Current rarity level for you?
I have no idea. I've seen them around actually. I've seen one that's just like, it looks like some anime babe. That's
Optomedius.
That has like it looks like she's like half plane or something.
Yeah, that's Optomedius.
Pieces shooting out of her.
Yeah, Optomedius.
That's the only one I've ever seen. I don't know anything about the others.
And you don't look at 360 also.
I don't really check into 360 games.
They're easily found used. They're easily found online, and you can find them cheap. So now I'm just doing a prediction. I think you can find them cheap. Now's the time to pick them up, because I think some of them are going to go really rare.
Online, it looks like, they're in the $15 range, 10, 15.
Yeah. Used, you can easily find under 10.
The Raiden looks to be a bit higher, which it might be one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Like an actual better game, so who knows?
These are predictions.
Okay, for my list of games to look out for, I've actually got a whole series to check into. And this is interesting.
Let's hear it.
So this year, just around May, June, just before summer, Drakengard 3 was released.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, so this is a sequel to a very odd series that started on PS2 in 2004.
Yeah.
And this is a Square Enix published hack and slash like beat 'em up dark fantasy game, which is really like out of character I think for like Enix to publish, because usually their thing seems to be RPGs.
Yeah,
I mean
absolutely.
that's what they're known for. So for them to do a dark medieval,
it's a genre turn. Yeah,
it's a genre turn. It's known, the whole series. It's called Dragoon in Japan.
Okay.
It's way more popular there than it is here. Over in North America, it's very obscure. I picked up the first game. It's released in 2004. It's about a $10 PS2 title.
Very common. Yeah, I see it a lot.
I've played a few hours of it. It's very interesting. The Drakengard series was originally thought up as an idea of mixing the action of the Dynasty Warriors games. They wanted to mix that with Ace Combat like flight simulators of like dog fights in the sky. The other thing that's incredibly interesting about the whole series is that it's known for having multiple endings and different timelines and stuff. So each sequel to this game, the original Drakengard, has several has now 2 sequels and a spin-off game that are all continuations or prequels of different endings to the first game.
Okay, and okay, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because one of those games is actually on my list here. That's why, so I have that on my list. So keep going. Yeah.
Okay, so Drakengard is not rare. You can find it for about $10, but the kicker is that it's the starter to this whole series of strange games that are sequels to different timelines from the original game. So Drakengard 2 was also released on PS2. Incredibly late in the PS2 life cycle.
Yeah.
It just got enough money, and it was just popular enough in Japan and Europe, and they had almost no advertising money. They had almost no promotion for it. It came out very quietly and sort of disappeared after that. apparently the sequel, Drakengard 2, is a sequel to one of the endings of Drakengard 1, set like 100 years after.
Such a specific thing.
Yeah, I've passed this game up numerous times for $12.
Drakengard 2, we're talking about.
Drakengard 2, we're talking about. I've seen it in stores before, and I thought, you know,
all the time I saw it too. It was a $10, $20 game. No, not even that. 10, 15 at most.
I thought, you know, I'm playing through the first one. I'm only a few hours in. I don't need to pick up the second one yet. I'll pick it up later once I beat the first one. A couple months ago, I look online and suddenly this game has skyrocketed to $50, $60 range.
It's a $50, $60 PS2
and I was like, what is happening? And then I realized it's all to do with Drakengard 3 was released this year on PS3.
And then suddenly...
So sequel hype. Suddenly everyone wants to go back and get the first two. Then they realize there's almost no copies of Drakengard 2 because it was the black sheep of the franchise and probably had a low production run.
Never re-released on PS3?
Yeah.
Not yet. There's no Drakengard trilogy on PS3.
I don't know.
No. You were the one that actually told me about this one. Yeah. That it suddenly jumped. This, if you can find Drakengard 2, games that are going to be rare, this game right here, Drakengard 2.
My prediction for Drakengard 1 is that I don't think it's gonna become a rare game. It's crept up.
Really? Why?
It completes the trilogy in a sense, so it may rise with people wanting to get the whole set of all the Drakengard games.
Yeah.
But for now, I don't think it'll rise too much.
I think Drakengard 1 is gonna go up.
You think so?
There's tons of copies right now, but you know, it's one of those things where people always say there's tons of copies, until there's no copies of it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, where is Drakengard 1? If Drakengard 2 shoots up, and if neither of them gets a release, Drakengard 2, the sky's the limit. Drakengard 1, $15 now, 10 years, 50. Who knows? I think if they don't get a re-release, Drakengard 1 is also going to jump up.
Drakengard 2, I think, will do nothing but rise.
That game's just going to keep going up and up.
I think if there's a game that you'd want to pick up now more than ever, try to pick up Drakengard 2 because you can still find it for like...
It can still be found cheap.
It can still be found for like 10, 15
Under
bucks.
20 because the price jump just happened.
There's already people trying to sell it for 50 and 60. Don't go for that. Try to find it if you can for cheap.
You'll find it used. But that's quickly drying up.
Quick thoughts on Drakengard 3. This is still a very easy game to find. It's in stores right now. You can pick it up new. It's
brand new. It just came out.
There's one thing, again, we're talking about limited editions. There's an incredible limited edition of Drakengard 3
that was know this.
Only available on Square Enix's website with a limited run of, I think, 5,000 copies. You could only pre-order it or order it off of the squareenix.com website.
Which in itself,
people already cleared that out and are trying to sell it on eBay now. I'm not sure if I'm hoping it'll just go down so everyone that wants it.
Do you know what the value is on that one right now? What's the value on that? Okay, so right now the collector's edition.
The collector's edition is already over $100 and going.
I think Drakengard 3 is going to be a super rare game because it's such a late system game. Like, it's 2014. It has the blue banner. It has the blue PS3 banner on the spine.
They changed that.
So I think this is like the third or the fourth version, and I think it's going to be the final one because originally they used like the Spider-Man font, which everybody calls it the Spider-Man font.
It looks like the Spider-Man.
And the spines had the little red dots on them. Then they changed it to the just straight up PS3, and it's more of like a Sony font.
Yeah.
And now the Drakengard 3 and games now being released all have the blue spine. And I think the blue spine games, which are like the late PS3 games, are going to all end up being, in general, more valuable. But Drakengard 3, it's got so much going for it, I can't see that game coming down in price.
Another game we haven't talked about yet is Nier.
Which I knew you were getting to it, and I have it on my list. I have it. Nier is on my list too.
I didn't mention this yet, but Nier was actually released in 2010, and is actually
on both PS3 and 360.
Although you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it.
I didn't know this until you told me.
Until I looked it up, I didn't know this. But Nier is actually a sequel to the alternate ending of Drakengard 1. So this is not a sequel to like the good ending, but a sequel to, I think, the bad ending of Drakengard 1.
Such an odd concept for a game. How did they get money to fund this?
Yeah, like how?
That's what's mind blowing.
I think that's the coolest thing ever. Can you think of a game that is a sequel to an alternate bad ending of a game?
The Wind Waker.
Oh, well. You bastard. So Nier was initially planned as a sequel to Drakengard. Like I'm assuming they were gonna maybe call it Drakengard 3. They chose the title Nier, and they decided to set it as a sequel 1,000 years after the alternate ending.
It follows the 5th ending of the game, in which awesome. The events have left the planet in a state of decay.
So Nier is a game that, again, I didn't pick up because I was like, I got to play through Drakengard 1
I saw it everywhere.
I kept seeing it. It was like in the bargain bin for like $8.
Oh yeah.
$12 here and there, and I was like, I don't need to pick it up because I'm
not now.
Foolish me, because I went to go try to find it again, and I can only find it for $30, yep. $35 now. Online, everyone's trying to sell it for $30, $35. It's crazy.
Currently, the 360 one sells for about $20 to $25, and the PS3 is just a bit higher than that, about $25 to $30.
It's crazy how much
it's gone up. I think that Nier is going to be, I would say, just as valuable as Drakengard 2. I think we're going to see Nier, because I don't see it all that often. I think Nier is going to be, the 360 one will always be a little less, because this type of game, people want it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Don't believe me? Check the value differences. It's always like $5-10 more on PS3 and a bit less on 360 for this type of game. It just is that way. I think people want the PS3 version. I think we're going to see the 360 version spike to about $30, $35 and stay around there. It won't go up much. The PS3 version I think is going to be $40, $50 game.
You think so?
Yep.
My final thought on Nier and on the Dragoon, or Drakengard series in general. So I think the coolest thing of all is these seem to be actually cool games. You know, like a lot of the times you get super rare games that are just really shitty and just happen to be rare and valuable just because they're terrible or because no one bought them.
Action 52.
Action 52.
Cheetah Men.
You're Cheetah Men, you're Action 52.
They're borderline broken,
yeah,
in fact.
Stuff like that. But this seems to be a really cool whole series that is relatively obscure, raising in price, and has a cult fan base, and seems like games based on alternate endings and stuff. Who knows where this series could go, and the games seem to be raising in price, so...
Okay, one more I got here for potential games. This falls into the category of games that are already rare that I think are going to be super rare.
Okay.
I'm just throwing this out here. And
these are some heavy predictions.
Yeah, this is a heavy prediction. This is a curveball. Ju-On the Grudge for Wii.
For Wii.
The actual title is Ju-On.
Is it based off the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Ju-On, but not the Sarah Michelle Gellar one, the Japanese one. So Ju-On, not The Grudge. Ju-On the Grudge. So the Japanese title.
So The Grudge was an American...
Was the American... He called port, the American port of the Japanese movie series Ju-On. The game, I believe, is called Ju-On the Grudge Haunted House Simulator.
Haunted House Simulator?
Yeah, got a weird title. I believe that's what it's called. The game is exclusive to the Wii. Only on the Wii. It was a 2009 title. So it's again, 3/4 into the life of the Wii. Each story is viewed from the perspective of the character. So it's first person.
Ooh.
It plays like a first person, quick time survival horror game. It's already a rare game. I never see this. It's already selling $40 to $50.
Oh, for a Wii game already.
For a Wii game. Already so it's more than Smash Bros.
More than Brawl.
More than Brawl, more than Mario Kart. Right now it's one of the most expensive Wii games already.
That's impressive already, yeah.
My prediction, it's only going to go up. I think we're going to see it go over 50.
Well, people love horror games and...
Survival horror, yeah.
Yeah.
Survival horror games on the Wii? How many are there?
There's some cool ones.
Cursed Mountain. The point, and Resident Evil doesn't count.
The Resident
Evil ports don't count.
Oh, but Silent Hill Shattered Memories?
Is that not on any other system?
Well, Silent Hill Shattered Memories was originally released for Wii, but it got ported to
later PS2. Got ported.
Obscure? A lot of them are just ports.
I'm not counting Obscure either. It's a port of a PS2 game.
I can't. That's frustrating. I can't think of
many other ones. You can't think of many other system exclusives. I've got another one here for you that's also going to be rare. The Calling.
I've never even heard of that game.
Exactly like Ju-On the Grudge. It plays very similarly. I don't know too much about it. It's also already a $40, $50 game on Wii.
No way.
Yeah, The Calling for Wii. It's very similar. It's a first person, but from what I understand, that one's more of a... Yeah, look at that cover.
Hudson Soft,
The Calling.
It looks just like The Grudge, too.
Either it's called The Calling or Calling. Just Calling. Okay, it's just Calling.
I just read here that it was distributed by Hudson Soft in Japan and North America, but Konami in Europe.
That's weird. That's weird.
Wii survival horror.
Wii exclusive survival horror.
That's weird.
So now we got both Calling and Ju-On the Grudge. Current rarity on these games, they're already rare. I'd say they're 6 out of 10s, maybe 6.5 out of 10s.
I'd say for sure.
I've seen them in the wild, and by in the wild, I just mean at used shops, not news stores.
I've never heard of them.
I've never seen Calling. I've seen Ju-On the Grudge twice, and both times people wanted $40 for it at game shops.
You're kidding.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. They wanted $40 for it already, so it's already high in price. And online, it can be found. You can find it online, so it's not like impossible to find. There's listings, but the value's already high. I'm gonna compare it for a second. Survival horror games on the Cube that got rare. Code Veronica X.
Yeah.
All the Resident Evil ports got pretty valuable. Like 2 and 3 are 30 plus games. Eternal Darkness is now a $40 game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness shot up in value.
Obviously, being on the Wii, they're more tricky, I think, to port or re-release. I mean, because they're using the Calling is using the
good point.
The Calling is using the Wiimote to listen with the speaker.
How would you adapt that? Yeah. How would they ever adapt it?
I mean, you've got Move, but it's still tricky to like adapt it, especially since all the support for motion-based games is dying out.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fad that's over. So these games.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, but I mean, these interesting experimental survival horror games using the Wiimote in interesting ways, that's not going to be re-released.
No. That's what we got from the beginning. These are our personal predictions for games that are soon to be rare, games that you should be looking out for. That they're either going to become extremely valuable because they're already valuable.
We're trying to help you guys out.
Absolutely.
Pick these up if you can get them for cheap. We'd love to hear about it. If you guys
If there's some other games that you guys can think of, games that are cheap right now and that are going to be expensive and rare, or games that already are rare that you think are going to be super rare, tell us in the comments. Tell us what you think. And if you like these kind of videos, then hit that like button and give us some feedback, and we'll definitely do some more.
We'd love to hear about games that we haven't heard about, or games that you might like, or
there's tons we missed. And this is only the beginning, because I have a lot more like that I can think of that would apply for this. So we're definitely going to look forward to some more of these kind of videos.